Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Denise Simpson. I'm a life and leadership coach, and I'm here in Austin, Texas. And my co-host is Kenda Swanson, who is in Calgary. And she is a love and relationship coach. And tonight we're going to talk to Kenda about the most important relationship that we have is with ourselves and how this reflects all of the relationships in our lives. And so before I begin the questions, I just want to share with you a little bit about Kenda, and then we'll get started. So Kenda, as I mentioned, is a love and relationship coach. She began her journey in the love coaching field earlier this year. And so Kenda had spent over 10 years at the university studying science and health. And so she's a very different path, but has now taken the right path. I like to say the right path because she's now living her true passion. She's now living her heart's desires, and she is empowering others to do the same by helping them awaken to their capacity to give and receive love. And so she's doing some amazing work with her clients. And so I'm just so happy that we're co-hosting today. But again, we're going to focus on Kenda and the work that she does with her clients. So Kenda, welcome.
Hi.
So I'll pass the mic over to you, Kenda. Anything you want to share before we start some questions?
Absolutely. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much, Denise, for coming up with this brilliant idea, for inviting me to do this with you. This is so exciting, and it will be the first of many inspired conversations between me and I. So like Denise said, the topic for tonight is about how our lives mirror or reflect the relationship we have with ourselves. So really what that means is how the beliefs that we have inside about ourselves, our capabilities, our worthiness manifest in our lives through our experiences, the relationships we attract, the things that we go through. So this is all about self-responsibility, awareness, empowerment, which are the very things that I teach my clients. So I'm a love and relationship coach, but I believe that all love begins with self-love, and self-love begins with acknowledging and honoring the power that you have. And honoring that power involves taking responsibility for your beliefs, your thoughts, and your actions. So this is the beginning of all this. This is where it starts. So I'm so happy to be having this discussion with you guys today and with Denise.
Yay. Thank you for sharing that, Kenda. Really wonderful information. So let's get started. So the topic of self-love, right, and how you just beautifully shared with us, is self-responsibility, and acknowledging and honoring that power, I think, is so important. Can you share with all of us how this philosophy or perspective came to you? And also, can you share with us how this resonates with you on a personal, deep level?
Absolutely. So I, like many of you, many people out there, had, in my 20s, underwent this process of existential crisis, asking so many questions, doing this, doing that, is this the answer, is that the answer? And I really feel like a good analogy for my life is that I was floating along an ocean. No sense of direction, no sense of control, doing a bunch of things, not really knowing where it was going. When people would ask me, well, what do you want? What do you really, really want? I didn't know. I'm like, I don't know what I want beyond 10 minutes from now. So that's really where I was at in my life when all of this journey began. Really, it began the moment I was born. But when my awareness peaked. So I had this spiritual mentor, a good friend of mine who happened to be my music teacher. So I was seeing her on a weekly basis for music lessons, but really it was so much more than that. Because at the end of our lesson, I would break down and cry about all the problems I was going through, whether it be for school, work, boyfriends, things that were not working out in my life. And she would consistently say the same thing. She would say, Kenda, take a look at your belief system. Whatever it is that you are manifesting in your life is a direct reflection of what you believe about yourself, what you're worthy of, what you're capable of, and that is what you are experiencing, the good and the bad. And it made me angry. I was annoyed with her. And And at first I thought she was just nuts. I was like, there's no way that this can be possible. Like, I am a victim. I was a child when all of these things developed. This is not my fault. And then, but yet, I continued to come to her for advice. I continued to seek out the things that she was offering me. So I knew on some level what she was saying resonated with me. And it really did. Because around that time, I started to become attracted to many of the things that you guys would be familiar with. Oprah, the O Network. I mean, Wayne Dyer, the writings of Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, the channelings of Abraham, Esther Hicks. All of this information seemed to point to the same thing. Self-responsibility, and how the things that we have in our life, the demonstration is really a reflection of what's going on internally. And so I started this journey into awareness, and I kicked and screamed at the beginning, but then at some point I surrendered, and I really allowed myself to believe that indeed it was me creating the things in my life, even the things I didn't like. And when I surrendered to that, that's when I began to notice the small shifts taking place. And I began to get some, I don't like the word control, but get some more direction. Really feel like I could set my mind to something and see the demonstration of it in my life.
Wow, that is, and we all have a different journey that we've traveled on, and all of our spiritual transformations are similar, yet how we got there was very different, I think. And so thank you for sharing that, and especially your spiritual mentor, because we all have someone that impacted our lives and have changed the way we see our world. And so how wonderful that you had that wonderful person in your life. So with this perspective that you acquired, that you gained, do you use this in your coaching practice with your clients? And if so, how do you incorporate it when working with them?
Absolutely. So Denise, I like to say that my life is the example. Like, I am the example. I always wanted to work in a profession, in a career where I could just be myself and I could really be working in my passion and making a difference, but really just feeling like I was doing a great service for the world. So that is what I do for my clients. Now, I went through this the kind of hard and long way, and that's not to say that my clients won't do that too, but I'm here to cheerlead them, to coach them along, to let them know, like, my ideal situation is when somebody comes to me, I know that what I'm saying is resonating with them on some level, even if they're not fully to the point where they want to take responsibility yet. And then we start working together. Right. And what I first do is I have people list all of the things that they love in their life, put them on that high energy. We all have things. We need to generate gratitude and realize the things in our life that we really have or we feel so blessed about. And then make a list of all of the things that we would want to change, the things that we don't like, the things that are shitty, and realize how each and every one of those things, all of those things, are actually internal. They're internally generated. Now, it could be that you don't like somebody at work, a coworker is mean to you. Now, it's your responsibility to find out how you're judging the relationship, you're judging that other person, how your feelings about that situation are torturing you. You, not the other person. We don't work on changing the other person. We work on ourselves, because you know what? You are walking around with triggers that I call big buttons. They're buttons. And people around us are going to touch them. They're going to push on them. They're going to trigger us. With the work that I do with my clients, it's all about removing, diffusing the button. The people around you can touch you everywhere. You don't have a button for it. It's not going to affect you. So that is what we do. And we start with the awareness. We start by becoming aware of all of the limiting negative thoughts we have about our lives and realizing that ultimately we are responsible for the things that we believe. And it begins there. When we start with awareness, then we can start with the release. Then we can start planting the new seeds, the affirmations, the new beliefs that we want to have and we want to create with in our lives.
It's fantastic work that you're doing, Kenda. My goodness. Can you share with us, of course, without sharing real names of clients, can you share with us any experiences? Because we would love to hear how this has worked with your clients.
Absolutely. So one beautiful, wonderful client that I'm going to call Jessica. So she came to me with this victimhood belief system. So she had undergone many experiences in both her childhood and her adult life that had influenced her to believe and live out this idea that she was a victim. So she would attract relationships with men. She came to me wanting more love, more romantic relationships, a man who respected her. But her and I together realized that she really didn't believe she was worthy of that. And of course, some of her issues with worthiness came from childhood. But that, and we don't need to go there. All we need to do is, this is the a great actually, another reason that this is great is a lot of the time we have issues and we know that they're from childhood. We say, well, I was a victim, I was. And the thing is like, while we undergo traumatic things in our childhood, we develop belief systems from there on out. I am not worthy. I am not deserving. People are going to abuse me. Trust no one. That we then perpetuate. We continue to believe it for adulthood. And we're letting those old belief systems govern our lives today. We do not need the protection. So I got Jessica to understand, and it was a delicate process. She didn't like it at first. But how to understand that all of these things, even the things from childhood, were holding her back from her life now. And so when her and I got real with it, sat down and said, all of these things that are manifesting in my life are actually due to the limiting beliefs I have about myself. Small little trickles of awareness came in. She told me that she would go through experiences and she would feel like she would still get into that, oh, why me? But she would have this sort of, this angel on her shoulder or a different shade to her that would know that this shall pass. This everything is just all right. You are not the trauma that you're currently going through. And that's the gift, is these tiny little shifts. And from there, that's a medium for miracles. That's when magical things begin to happen and we begin to attract the things that we really want and would love in our lives. When we release that old baggage, when we stop living the past stories. And the thing is with Jessica, even though she came to me wanting a romantic relationship, soulmate partnership, and to my knowledge, she is dating and she's enjoying it. But what she really has manifested, the greatest grace, she's taking more risks in her life. She's more empowered to do the things that she never did before because she felt like a victim. She felt disempowered. She didn't feel like she was worthy or deserving. Now she's taking risks. She's traveling to places that she's always wanted to go. She's taking on a new job. And so this is the magic of all of this. So it's funny, like how the things we think are the problem are never the actual problem. And that's what this is really about.
Wow. Fantastic work, Kenda. My goodness. Wow. Well, we want to hear more about Jessica when she does find her soulmate and gets married. So make sure you let us know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at the time. Can you share with everyone where they can find your information, how to reach you, contact you?
Yeah. So my website is Kenda.tv. Very easy. You can also find me on Instagram. It's Kenda_surprise. And yeah, it's great.
I love it.
That's my nickname. And then you can also send me an email at Kenda@Kenda.tv. It's very easy. I am hoping to hear from you because Denise and I can continue these inspired conversations, and we want to know what you would like for us to discuss, what things you would like for us to dispel. Wisdom, information, whatever it be, we're here to be in service to you guys. This is our greatest joy.
Yes, absolutely. I want to echo that too. So please leave a comment if you can, everyone. Like Kenda mentioned, we are in service to you. Let us know what you'd like to hear about next time. And we hope this is the first of many inspired conversations that we're going to have, not only on Facebook, but also on Instagram. So thank you all so much for sharing your time with us on this video tonight. And Kenda, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. And I look forward to our next inspired conversation.
Me too. Bye.
Bye-bye.